أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Well, we're approaching to the auspicious month of Ramadan. And I sincerely hope that Allah Almighty give us the blessing to all Muslims wherever they are, to wholeheartedly comprehend the value of this precious month, and we can make the most out of it. Allah Almighty in Holy Quran states, well, the word balagh means reaching, arriving to a particular purpose. It's for every humanity throughout history. Therefore, it refers to Holy Quran. And it has been stated in interpretation. Well, as it has been stated in the interpretation of Ahlul Bayt, it refers to Prophet Muhammad as well. Peace be upon him and his family. And it particularly and explicitly refers to Prophet Muhammad. And there is no doubt regarding this issue. We have three models: Quran, Prophet Muhammad, and Ahlul Bayt. Holy Quran is filled with the statements of Allah Almighty. Prophet Muhammad has stated that you should follow Holy Quran and Ahlul Bayt. These are the three certain role models we must be following and imitating. Whatever is stated in Holy Quran, we must follow and act upon. Whatever Ahlul Bayt has ordered us to do, we must follow, and they're nothing but blessings and righteousness. Imam Ali alayhi salam, in one of his sermons, Al-Ghadir, stated, Allah would not accept unity and imamat without Ahlul Bayt. So these are the criterion, the main criterion, nothing else. If a qualified jurist is a great jurist because he has followed these three: Holy Book, Prophet Muhammad, and Ahlul Bayt. And in that regard, Holy Quran referred to Prophet Muhammad. Month of Ramadan is a month in which we have to advertise. And advertising Islam, our religion, is something obligatory that must be done by every Muslim individuals. Unless he is not physically or mentally or financially capable. Well, an ignorant who is naturally ignorant and unwise, he should not be blamed for not advertising the religion. Well, we're not here to distinguish who is naturally ignorant or he is pretending to be ignorant. And month of Ramadan is the month filled with advertisement. But Ramadan is quite different with the other particular month of year because it has a unique atmosphere regarding that matter. In Ramadan, hearts are more prepared to be filled with the blessings and virtues of Ahlul Bayt. Well, in this holy month, beside self-making and self-purifying, which is one of the most important prerequisites and tasks in this holy month, we have to take the most out of this month to purify ourselves. It does not matter how much we are pure, how much we are faithful, and how much we are truly Muslims. We must take a further step. Well, this month is a perfect opportunity to purify ourselves and make ourselves. We'd like to state a very particular statement here. I would like to address my speech to whoever is hearing me now. We are religiously duty-bound. In Holy Quran, it has been stated that this soul must be purified, must be made from the beginning. The carnal desires must be curbed into the right path. Well, many have been deviated by the carnal desires through the aid of Satan. And in Holy Quran it is said that قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ ذَكَّاهَا. The prosperous is the one who can purify their soul by praying by relying on Allah Almighty and by faith. When we are severely sick, what we do normally, we do whatever it takes to be cured. And now we have to do whatever it takes to be purified, to reform our desires into the right path. These deviated desires, these carnal desires, have taken many greater people to the wrong track. And we have all these kinds of desires in our souls. The statement, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا, this very statement refers to curbing our desires.
گاهی دو تا کلمه با هم دلالت بر حصر میکنه مثل نفی و استثناء. گاهی جمله ظهور در حصر داره.
Sometimes the word refers to a particular meaning. Sometimes a phrase and sometimes a sentence is filled with valuable and precious concept.
ملاک و علم الطب کذا این مفهوم داره. دو تا مطلبه، یه حصره، معنیش اینه غیر از این ملاک نیست. این جمله خبریه صرف نیست که مفهوم نداشته باشه. قد افلح من زکاها.
Well, the word قد أفلح من زكاها is a statement filled with a precious concept, and it means and it implies that there is no option and there is no particular path except this. And we have to try individually through praying, relying on Allah Almighty, and relying on those whom Allah have ordered us to rely on. By purifying ourselves, curbing our desires, and we have to do whatever it takes to be succeeded. And it is a difficult task. And that's why majority of people, according to Holy Quran, have not been able to succeed in this regard, because they have not tried enough. And in the auspicious month of Ramadan, except the fact that it's a month of purification of soul and desires, as much as we are able to, because we are religiously obligated and obliged to do so. Regardless of the issue that month of Ramadan has a better atmosphere for purification, it's also is filled with better atmosphere for advertising the religion. What's the meaning? What is meant by advertising of religion here? It means the believers, men or women, righteous people, must guide others to the right path, to be better Muslims. We must lead people to the right path. We must lead them to the true meaning of Islam. Particularly non-Muslims, those who have been deprived of the real meaning of Islam and faith. They must be guided. They must be led to the right path. And what leads us to succeed in this regard? Well, there is a great point here, and I would like to state that. Well, plenty of you might have it in your mind, but I would like to mention it once again, so it might be informative. Holy Quran states, try to learn from Prophet as your role model. The most successful figure was Prophet Muhammad. How could he succeed in that regard? He had a particular worldly tools. He had the aid of Imam Ali alayhi salam, like a defending tool. He did not let others kill Prophet in that particular night. If you go and refer to Bahar al-Anwar written by Allama Majlisi, may God be pleased with him, it has been stated more than 100 times Imam Ali alayhi salam helped Prophet on and on in Uhud war, in Aqaba, and many vivid examples throughout history. Well, the most important tool by which Prophet lead people and guide people was his manner and his personality. We have to learn from Prophet. No one could be like Prophet. But we could step on the same path. Well, why don't we refer to the history of Prophet? Take a look upon it. Unfortunately, many have written false facts and attributed false beliefs to Prophet Muhammad. Why don't we take a look upon Bahar al-Anwar written by Allama Majlisi, volume 15 to 20, and learn what Prophet has done and step on the same path. Well, the issue of manner and behavior talks to the inner part of our souls. You see, Sword is like a defending tool, but a physical defending tool. But what stopped Prophet from being killed? What did Prophet use to convert a non-Muslim to Islam? That is nothing but his great manner and behavior. The way he treated others. Well, you, dear experts and preachers, you have to talk to the inner parts of people throughout your behaviors and manners. Well, There was a lady who later on turned to be Muslim. She was Jew before. Juwayriyah, if I'm not wrong. It has been stated in Bahar al-Anvar, written by Allama Majlisi. Juwayriyah, this very lady, had a particular story with her. The story is as short as a couple of lines, but it's filled with success and precious meanings. There was a tribe of Jew in which the boss was this lady's father. He called a group of Jews from the beginning of the time Prophet arrived in Medina to stand against Prophet Muhammad. He used some financial help. He talked to many others. He prepared Jews to stand against Prophet Muhammad. After a couple of years of Hijrah, after Uhud battle, he finally decided to gather up a strong group to come forward to Medina and destroy Islam from its roots. Well, infidels couldn't do that in bad battle in Uhud. And he was truly determined in his decision. Prophet was told about his determination. He knew that he is insistent on what he was going to do, and he knew that he is going to attack Medina. Well, Prophet, peace be upon him, and some of his companions went to defend Islam and Muslims. Well, Prophet sent someone, and this part of the story has been repeatedly stated throughout many tradition books, and it is quite unique and extraordinary. Prophet Muhammad and Ali alayhi salam, though they have never started a war, they have never waged a war, even though enemies were in the front line, they tried to stop wars through sending some people to make compromise. To stop war from in the beginning. And Prophet sent someone. And he talked to the commander of Jews, but he did not accept because he was completely determined to destroy and fight against Islam. He had plenty of weapons and people to start that war. Prophet came to defend, and he was determined not to make any war. He sent someone. It was of no use. Well, their houses were in some of the mountains in Medina. The commander of Jews tried to wage war because they were up on the mountain and they had a better position comparing to prophets. Allah Almighty promised Prophet Muhammad the chance of success and victory. But it does not mean that we're not going to face any problems. It means that we're going to eventually succeed in what we are going to accomplish. When after the war started, they had many casualties. Prophet Muhammad was victorious. They ran and they fled to top of the mountains. They, the commander of Jews, found a perfect opportunity to assassinate Prophet. Prophet went into mountains to do some of his personal business, far away from companions. It rained heavily, and it started, the flood was started, and it separated Prophet and his companions. Prophet was totally drenched in water. There was a tree near Prophet. Prophet had a special cloth over his waist. He took off his upper parts of his clothes, hanged them on the tree to be dried, and he lied under the tree. The Jew commander who has already fought and defeated by the Prophet, who just ran away from Prophet, saw Prophet lying in solitude under the tree, and he told his companions that I'm gonna assassinate him in a blink of an eye. IslamicMissionaries in Bahar al-Anwar states, the Jew commander asked his companion to give him a sharp sword because he saw Prophet alone. His upper part of body was nude, and he had no particular weapon to defend himself. He stood right in front of Prophet with a sharp sword, raising toward Prophet Muhammad and shouting and saying, let me tell you something here. There was a particular issue who has been changed.
یعنی یه آدم خواب، یه آدم غافل بزنن بکشنش، حتی جاهلیه نمی کردن. بله بنی امیه کردن، بنی العباس کردن که به اسم اسلام دروغ هم بود و تا به امروز سمعیت.
It is not customary and allowed in Islam to kill someone when someone is sleeping, to stab someone from behind. And Bani Umayyads unfortunately used to do so. Even infidels did not murder people in that particular manner. Even in the night of Laylatul Mabit, in which Prophet was about to be assassinated, he refrained because it was night and they thought that Prophet might be sleeping. So killing someone, murdering someone while he's sleeping is not religiously allowed.
نمیشه خواب بزنه.
There might be some
یه
particular exceptions, but
منطقه
Bani Umayyad and Bani Abbas
جایز نبوده حتی پیش
abundantly
حتی پیش یهود و نصارا.
did this.
لحاظا داد
Well, the
اگه خوابن
Jew commander
بیدار بشن.
came.
پیغمبر خدا دراز کشیدن رو زمین، سلاح چیزی هم در دست ندارن، به نام نیست که معجزه بشه همش. گاهی میشده
He shouted to wake
جنگ
Prophet up,
شکست خورده کشته
to wake him
داده.
up. Prophet had no particular weapon to defend himself, and only miracle would save him. The Jew commander was a muscular and strong person who has already been defeated by Prophet, and now he found Prophet barehanded, nothing to defend. It was a right time to assassinate. And he shouted, "Who is going to survive you and save you?" Well, in history, it has been stated that Prophet shouted, "Allah would save me." But he said Allah in a way in which he trembled. He dropped the sword. Prophet took the sword and asked the same question, "Who is going to survive you now?" Well, if you take a look upon the universal rule, Prophet had the chance and had the right to assassinate that infidel, that atheist. Because a couple of minutes ago, he was determined to assassinate Prophet. He had the true right to revenge and assassinate in return. But he did not. He did not because he wanted to write a great history about this story. He asked the same question. Who is going to survive you? Prophet did not have to ask that question. He could have assassinated him in a blink of an eye. But he did not. But when he asked this question, this very question changed his thought. Well, I want you to make a same example in history. You could not.
اخلاق 180 درجه همون لحظه پیچوند اینو.
When Prophet asked him, he answered, and Prophet gave him the sword back. And this is the manner I am underlining. And right after that, he converted to Islam. By believing Prophet, Allah. And later on, he advertised Islam. He invited many Jews to be Muslims. This is the manner we have to follow upon. We have to advertise. We should not wage war if you are sworn at. If you're humiliated, we should not simply freak out and lose our temper. You could simply change someone, even if he has already cursed you. Allah states that if you are cursed, you have the right to curse back. If you're bothered, you have the right to bother in return. But this is not a virtue. This is just a chance. God has not forced you to answer badness with badness. This would not change people. This is not righteous manner, sublime moralities. Sublime moralities is something that Ahlul Bayt would always follow upon. If you are cursed, do not curse back. Instead, try to answer him back with goodness, with righteous behaviors, with kindness. Well, in the history of Prophet, in the beginning of his prophethood, Abu Lahab, Prophet's uncle, the one who stood against Prophet strongly, you could read books to see what he has done to destroy Prophet's path. But Prophet has logic. He played logically. He acted rationally. Prophet used to talk to him in a way in which he would change his thought. Abu Lahab used to call Prophet a crazy person. He would tell people that Prophet is someone who cannot think through and he cannot think wisely. Abu Lahab was from Bani Hashim, the son of Abdul Muttalib. They were great figures of Arab community in Mecca. Prophet in the beginning of the prophethood used to come in market. In the time of Hajj, even infidels and idol worshippers used to come and worship their idols. Prophet used to come in markets. Prophet used to come to markets and advertise about Allah Almighty. There is a tradition in which Abu Lahab used to talk badly behind Prophet. He used to curse Prophet. And he used to, in particular story, used to throw stone at Prophet's foot. And he injured Prophets. He injured Prophet nerve system.
این عرقوب اگه صدمه بخوره گاهی طرفو میکشه به مردن و گاهی سالها طول میکشه تا خوب بشه، گاهی خوبم نمیشه. و یه آقای
He injured two particular spot of Prophet's food, which were truly critical in nervous system. You could ask the physicians, if those two parts are damaged, you could simply die throughout a nervous breakdown. It is not, they're not simply damaged, but they're so important that they must be taken care of. And he used to stone Prophet in those two spots in Uhud battle, in which everyone fled except Ali alayhi salam, who just protected Prophet. Enemy was so close they could simply assassinate Prophet. One infidel threw a stone to Prophet's head and it started bleeding. And that stone, there was a type of a stone which was used as a weapon in wars. Like the time of Ashura. In the tradition, Abu Lahab threw stone at Prophet's foot to damage, and he damaged those critical nervous spots. Even though Prophet was physically strong, but he was hurt and injured. Prophet did not even take a look upon his uncle and ask for the reason. It did not affect Abu Lahab, but many turned to be Muslims simply by looking the way Prophet treated his uncle. This is what I call the sublime moralities. A jurist, a preacher must have the same sublime moralities. The more the better. But it's not something that be simply done. It must be done throughout praying, purification, curbing our desires, asking for forgiveness through determination. Well, in another battle between Jews and Prophet, the commander of the Jews came toward Prophet after battle. How could someone, the one who has waged war, simply came toward Prophet, come toward Prophet? It's another story. A commander of Jews came toward Prophet. He talked to Prophet. He came to make a deal with Prophet. Prophet just said something to him. And when he heard this, he and his family became Muslim. Prophet, through a simple manner and a statement, made them Muslims. And that's why sublime moralities are considered to be really significant. Well, the most important factor of Prophet's success was his behavior. And that's why Quran has repeatedly talked about. And we have to learn, particularly we, us preachers. And we have to act upon it. We have to try as hard as we can. We must not simply say whatever we are allowed to say. This would not lead us to success. God has not forced us to answer badness with badness. Well, we are obliged to pray, do our daily prayings, and this would lead us to faith and piety. It will make us pious. Well, the night prayers are recommendatory. But this would be influential in some individuals. And this is considered as a prerequisite to faith. One is through curbing the desires, and one is through praying. Preaching is something that must be done whenever we are capable of. There are a lot of shortages in this regard. Well, how could that Jew simply turn to be a Muslim? A Jew about which Quran has negatively talked about on and on. The Jew that simply tempted infidels to wage war against Islam and Muslims. And Jew simply turned to be Muslims simply because of Prophet's behavior. Even right after the war, in which they had suffered many casualties, just because of Prophet's behavior. So we have to decide, every one of us, to advertise Islam, Islam's rules, Islam moralities, as much as we can through sublime moralities. We can start it from our houses, our schools, our families, our teachers, the students, salespersons, everyone in this community. We can simply learn from Prophet, but we cannot be totally and 100% be like Prophet. One of the jurists, as is stated, was buying lettuce, and he was getting rid of the corrupted leaves. There was someone called Gabban. He had a scale, and he used to weigh people's products, and people used to tip him. He used to collect those thrown away leaves. Someone asked, "Why are you collecting?" He said the lettuce seller, people always buy the qualified lettuce. The lettuce seller heard him. He was not a person who used to pray, but when he heard this, he turned to be Muslim.
اخلاق با داخل طرف صحبت میکنه، یا اتمام حجت برش میشه اگه اثر روش نداره و خیلی وقتا هم اثر میده. چی امروز تو دنیای اسلام با این
sublime moralities would shoot and target the inner parts of people, and it always influential.
تو کشورهای غیر اسلامی مراکزی هست تبلیغ اسلامی عدم مخلصن.
Considering the whole advertising in Islam, what would be the most influential in the non-Muslim countries, Muslim countries? It's nothing but sublime moralities. In the time of Prophet, warriors would turn to be Muslims in the time of battle. Jews, for example, infidels. Many infidels stopped fighting against Prophet when they saw Prophet's sublime moralities. But why we do not have such manner now? What is the problem? It is everyone's duties. What is wrong? What do we lack? Why don't we search upon Prophet's and Imam Ali's history? Imam Ali, when he was the commander of the greatest territory in the world,
از عمق اروپا تا عمق آفریقا خاورمیانه
50 countries were ruled by Prophet, by Imam Ali, sorry.
دوستان تو خیابون رد میشن یکی از خوارج نوشتن گفتن
Persia, Iraq, Hijaz, Middle East. Imam Ali was engaged in many battles. He was crossing a street. One of the infidel from Khawarij said something. He cursed Imam Ali in front of his companions.
اینه که عوض میکنه، اینه که با درون مردم صحبت. امروز شما تو دنیا
The companions asked Imam Ali to let them kill that person, but he did not let them do so. That's the manner that would definitely change people. Do you know any country in which the leader is cursed and the leader would not do anything in return? I guess we are changed.
مسئله اخلاق خیلی مهمه.
There were some people who used to be Muslims, but now they are changed. But the question is why? What has happened to them? It's nothing but the issue of morality. It's really hard not to curse when you're cursed.
خودمون نمو بیشتر بهتر بکنیم به نتیجه یه روزی قبر و قیامت ما داریم. چجوری میخوایم وارد بشیم؟ روسفیدی چیه؟
We have to learn Prophet. We have to learn from Prophet and Imam Ali alayhi salam. We have to purify ourselves. And consequently, we're going to face hereafter. How can we enter hereafter? Considering all the sins we have committed. Prophet Muhammad Ali alayhi salam. We have to follow them. We should not curse even if we are cursed. It's a difficult task, but we have to refrain. I'm not going to disrespect anyone, but this Quran has stated about this, has talked about this. Those who curse when they are cursed are not, they do not have deep understanding. Even animals can attack back when they're attacked. This is not an art. The art is to answer someone's badness with goodness in the best way. Even if when you're cursed, you're sworn at, you should not take revenge. That's the thing that would make us a great Muslim. Well, I hope Allah Almighty would give us the blessing in this auspicious month. We have to try hard. We have to make our decisions. Wherever we are, Muslim countries, non-Muslim countries, considering all the facilities now, mosques, Islamic communities, we have to gather Muslims together to lead non-Muslims to the right path, to faith, to hereafter. Particularly infidels, we have to let them know about the Prophet's stories, the unique stories about Prophet, so they gradually be led to the right path. So we can attract the whole world to Islam, the Islam that was made by Prophet, the pure Islam made by Prophet.